All right, welcome back to Speed Truth Sports. This is Bert. Today I'm joined by Sparsh and Luke, and today we are talking about a lot of drama, a lot of drama going on with the Sixers.
This is crazy.
Sparsh, you have the tweets and the articles. Why don't you go ahead and read them off for us?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, what's been sort of happening recently, we got a report from Shams like just a few days back that Ben Simmons tells the 76ers he wants out and he won't report to training camp. So right after that, Joel Embiid actually sort of took a response to this because a lot of people were sort of, saying that, Embiid is wanting Simmons out, etc. Right. But, Embiid responds by saying, and I'll read off a few tweets here. There's 4 of them. And he says, sources, trust me, bro. Stop using my name to push people's agendas. I love and hate drama. I love playing with Ben. Stats don't lie. He's an amazing player, and we all didn't get the job done. It's on me personally. I hope everyone is back because we know we're good enough to win. So after that, he says, from my own experience, y'all have no idea how much this media makes up stuff for followers, and shame on you for believing them. I haven't forgotten, but 2 years ago, I got booed. People in Philly wanted me to be traded. I even shushed them. Only the real ones didn't, but I just put the work in that offseason to be better because I knew I wasn't playing up to my potential. Philly fans, y'all also got to be better. And this is the last one. For clarity, I love the criticism. I love when I'm told I can't do something. It makes me work harder to prove everyone wrong, but not everyone is built like that. And the tweets were all great, and then that last like 7 words, not everyone is built like that. I mean, what else can we really say about this?
Yeah, if that's not a shot, like a subtle shot at Ben Simmons, I don't know. It's funny because he praised him like right before that. Whether intentional or not, it comes off as that. For sure, especially because people have talked about how his work ethic isn't the best. Ben Simmons is, and one of the reasons that the previous Sixers coach was fired, Brett Brown, was because he was actually trying to push Ben Simmons to start shooting more. Because I do remember that he, in like an off season, like I think a couple of years ago, he said that he wanted Ben to take at least 2 threes a game or something like that. And I think that upcoming season was when he hit his first 3, I think. Yeah. So he was actually making progress, even though Brett Brown's not a great coach. Like, let's not sugarcoat that at all. He's not a great coach, not in the slightest. At least he was pushing Ben to work on his shot, something that I don't think Doc Rivers has done. Actually, with Doc, it's gotten way, 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 way worse because he's just kind of gone to his comfort zone. He's not making him do anything that he doesn't want to. And then I think with Doc's comments about how he doesn't know if Ben Simmons is the starting point guard for a championship team. I mean, yeah.
I mean, don't also forget, like, that was also the same sort of day when Embiid was also asked at the press conference as well. They're like, "Oh, what do you think went wrong?" And I'm just gonna sort of paraphrase this thing, but he's like, "Oh, it was when we had the opportunity to make the shot, but then it got passed up for something else," right? Referring to when Ben Simmons literally had the opportunity to dunk while Trae Young was on him, but then he passed it Matisse Thybulle, which ended up in a set of free throws, and he ended up missing one of them, right? So it's like could have been 2 easy points, but then it just went to the other team, and Atlanta was just able to seal the game right from there.
I don't know what this says about Ben Simmons' mentality. I'm not sure how he's approaching this season. I mean, obviously, like every single offseason, he's posting videos of him shooting. But he could already shoot the mid-range. We know he can shoot the mid-range, but he just doesn't do it.
That's what I was going to talk on. He has every single season. He puts out the same clips of him working with someone else to be like, it's like a cycle. I saw something like this on like Instagram or something, where he goes to the Sixers, he plays for the Sixers, he starts playing garbage, people hate on him, he goes and posts videos of him working out with Paul Pierce or Rajon Rondo or something, and then people get hyped up around him like, oh, he's gonna be better this season, he's gonna shoot, then he doesn't shoot. And in the beginning of the season, he kind of starts shooting more, and like it's looking all right, and then it goes back to the way it was.
Right after the All-Star break, it's back to normal. Except, I mean, this time though, I mean, at least he has a Clutch Sports logo on his like post, so I mean, maybe that's something. There's more marketing involved. Maybe he'll get somewhere.
Also, I'm gonna say this now. I do think that Ben Simmons is a very good basketball player, but the reason he gets so much hate is because people think of him as an all-star, which he's not. He's not an all-star. He is a role player on a team with other all-stars. He should be on a team where he's not the go-to guy. He should be like the third option or the fourth option.
Luke, that's low-key a hot-ass take. He said he wasn't. He's a role player. But you know what? From how he played in the playoffs, that's kind of what he was. Like, let's be real.
And by role player, I just mean like he's not the star guy. He's not that guy, to put it lightly. He's not that guy.
Yeah.
He should have two high-octane players, and he should be like the third option.
He should be the fifth option, in my opinion, like straight up, because this man was the third option already and still couldn't. He still wasn't trying to score. Like
Third option.
Yeah, behind Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid. They went to Toby for shots more than did Simmons. Honestly, I think Curry was shooting more than Simmons was. Seth Curry. Like,
yeah, put him in the starting lineup. Easy replacement.
Oh no, that would actually be pretty great though, because they are not really a 3-point shooting team. Actually, I think they are like fifth last ranked in the league in the amount of 3-point shots they take, and I mean that's even with, Seth Curry in the lineup, right? So it's just, I mean, with Ben, I mean you're not going to get any shots from him anyways. So
yeah,
and I mean,
well, he's made it very clear he's not sticking around. He's going away. He's not staying no matter what.
But his value is just so low right now because he came out and said he doesn't want to play for Philly anymore. Because Daryl Morey was, I mean, like from Daryl Morey's perspective, right? Ben Simmons is an all-star. He was a former first-round pick. He's an elite defender. He can play make really good. There's a lot of good attributes of Ben Simmons. He doesn't want to lose the defense and the playmaking and all that. And he has
playmaking's overrated. Just saying, he's not that good of a playmaker. That's overrated.
That's a topic for another time. But yeah. So from Daryl Moore's perspective, he wants to replace all these things.
The playmaking is cap. It's just an excuse for why he doesn't have to be a good scorer. They say he's a playmaker then. But he's really not. He just passes the ball because he can't score it. So then you get it. Go on.
I mean, I don't think he's that bad of a playmaker, but his rebounding and his playmaking have both fallen a lot since his rookie year. I think his assists per game are like at 7. They're like 6.9.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
And his rookie year, they were like, I think 8.5 or so. It was like in the high 8 range. But yeah, so from Daryl Moore's perspective, he wants to replace all these things on the team. He wants to replace all those aspects of Ben Simmons, but the package he's asking for, when you put the context of what just happened around all of it, he's not going to get it. Like, honestly, the best that he could probably hope for is either something with the Wolves where you get one of their starting lineup players, or something with the Kings where you can maybe get Davion Mitchell and some other pieces. I don't know. The Kings have pulled out of trades because they're not willing to trade Fox or Halliburton, who the Sixers asked for. But, look, they might as well go for Davion Mitchell. He looked good in Summer League. He looked like a really, really solid defender. He can shoot it. At the very worst, he's not horrible. That's probably one of the best packages you get for Ben Simmons right now.
I was thinking about this earlier. I think the big issue with trading Simmons, considering him as a previous all-star and yada yada yada, and even like imagine he made the all-star team this year. Wait, did he make the all-star? He didn't make the all-star team this year. He did?
I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
What? No. But on a normal deal like that, like if you're trading Kevin Durant or Steph Curry, you're willing to trade 2 to 3 great players for a superstar player because that player covers the like role player options. So like if you traded Steph Curry for 2 role players, it's fine because he's incredible at passing, incredible handles, and incredible shooting. So if you lose a shooter and a passer, you get both of those by getting Curry. But with Ben Simmons, you're gonna lose something if you trade more than one player, unless you're trading a young guy.
I mean, it's just like when you have like him, like all he kind of does, like he's just really fast, and I guess he'll have those like flashy blocks, here and there. I mean, his defense is really good. I will give him credit for that. But I mean, it's just that offensive output is just, it's not a really desirable trait by him. And like some teams that have been sort of rumored, like the Golden State Warriors, the Kings, even like the Raptors and the Wolves were also sort of mentioned the trade. But I mean, I just read a post by Jake Fisher, so he sort of does like reports on like Raptors inside stuff. And just quoting his tweet right now, he's saying that it's Stillwater right now. Sacramento and Golden State have gotten off the phones. I mean, Bert, you've already mentioned, right? The Kings don't want to trade Fox and Halliburton. Golden State as well. I mean, I think they're pretty content with what they've gotten in the offseason, especially with their picks. And I mean, with Clay coming back, I really don't think, they're in a need to really trade for Ben Simmons. And also, just to continue, Minnesota's package hasn't moved the needle for Philadelphia, and Toronto has been out on Simmons since drafting Scotty Barnes, right? Like these guys are already finding like other ways to sort of make up for what Ben Simmons, like if Ben Simmons can provide at least, consistently, because it's just like everything else is just kind of, it's either like there or like it's kind of like a hit or miss thing, right?
Yeah, so
that's what it is.
They went from like having about like half the league interested to just right now it seems like it's only the Timberwolves that are going for it. And I don't know what their package is, but I guarantee it's a massive low ball because they're seeing nobody else is going for Ben. So they're like, we'll give you Jarrett Culver. Or wait, I think they traded Jarrett Culver, didn't they? We'll give you a Patrick Beverly and a first or something, like some ridiculous like low ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from rumors, the Raptors were interested, the Pacers were interested, the Warriors, the Kings, the Rockets, which that was way before there was actually like trade talk with Simmons.
Like around the deadline, right?
Even the Wizards were reported to be interested. Like
I think
nothing happened.
A side note, if Ben Simmons got traded to the Rockets and somehow the Sixers got John Wall, now that's a team I would have been scared of.
I wouldn't be scared of him, but honestly, John Wall's always been a playoff performer. So if he just stays healthy, to the playoffs, that pick and roll with Embiid would be dangerous, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like all they really need is a guard that could just do pick and roll with Joel Embiid, and they're already such a force to be reckoned with. It's just.
You know what? I really don't hate that. Yeah, I really do not hate that. That might be the best packages they could get for Ben Simmons. It's probably John Wall, maybe a first to make up for his contract. Maybe that would be a little too much. Though.
All right, yeah, his contract's like $200 million.
I'm pretty sure after this year, I think this year it's the player option. He's like in the last stretch of his deal, so he's like I think this is the last year. Yeah. This is either the last year or it's the upcoming season.
Yeah. I mean, like, and if we go back to like Joel Embiid's tweet, right? I mean, honestly, like, there was nothing wrong with what he said. Mm-hmm. He's been working like crazy, and we've seen him even this season. He was even after like those sort of injuries, he was still in like crazy like MVP talks, alongside Nikola Jokic, of course, the winner of that last year. And when you see sort of the performances between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, it's like those two don't really complement each other on the court. It's either like one guy does really well, whereas the other guy kind of takes a step back. And Ben Simmons only seems to be really doing well when Joel Embiid is not playing, either because he's probably like injured or something, right? And it's just like, though, I mean, I don't doubt Joel Embiid's like tweets. Like, I think he has a good relationship with Ben Simmons. It's just that like in the team's interest. Like, I mean, this guy wants to win, right? I mean, even he did sign that extension, but I mean, when you got a player sort of like his like size and his health can kind of be, you never know how it could go, like, with this, especially because he had that meniscus tear, right? He's had some pretty bad injuries along the way. You never know like when anything could happen, and you want to sort of take that time, like at least right now while he's at his best, and just go for that championship as fast as possible. But like, yeah, it's just those two aren't great together. I mean, they're both great individuals, but the sum of them on the court, it doesn't add up, right?
And people have been saying that for like years. Like it's been a narrative for multiple years in a row that can these two work together? If you had to pick between both of them, who would you pick? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think
go ahead.
Based on how like the Simmons trade goes, is going to define the future of the 76ers. Because if they make a trade that's not great, I think the 76ers are going to slowly go further down in the Eastern standings, and then eventually they're going to have to just trade Embiid too and rebuild. They could get a guy. I don't see any way that they can trade Simmons for something that's going to keep them top 3 in the East.
Okay, this is my prediction for what Ben Simmons gets traded for. Okay. This is probably one of the best packages they could get. This is gonna sound like disrespect. I haven't done the salary matches or anything, so if there's players that need to be thrown there for salary, just that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm thinking he probably ends up on the Timberwolves, honestly. Either them or the Kings. For the Kings, it'll probably be Davion Mitchell and some other maybe Marvin Bagley, maybe Buddy Hield. Like those would be the pieces they probably get, which is not bad actually. I don't think that's a horrible trade-off for Ben Simmons. If he goes to the Wolves, that must mean there's like absolutely no hope, and they have to take the lowest offer they can get, which is, in my opinion, they would probably offer Jaden McDaniels, Patrick Beverly, and maybe Josh Okogie, and then maybe a pick, right? Like that's where we're headed with Ben Simmons, when he was talked about before as being tradable for James Harden, but they didn't want to trade Maxey. But also a report came out that if they want to trade Ben Simmons, that they might have to also trade Maxey to make teams more interested. So they were going to lose Maxey and Simmons probably either way. I know hindsight, this is all in hindsight, but like they really should have taken that trade, because James Harden and Joel Embiid would have been a dangerous duo in the East.
Yeah, it's just getting any sort of pick and roll action with him, and having some sort of like guard that can also, move off ball and like create plays in like that fourth quarter as well, which is pretty much really non-existent for the Sixers during that playoff run. I mean, it's so tough because, as this goes on even further and further, it's just like the hopes of getting Ben Simmons to, another destination not only goes down, but also like the hopes that the Sixers would also be able to possibly be contenders, not just in the East, but for the chip as well, goes down even more, right? I'm pretty sure you two have noticed, like these past few years, like the Sixers have constantly been regarded as like one of the favorites to make it out of the East. After they got Jimmy Butler, right? They were like, okay, this is the move that's going to get them to the top. Then next year, Kawhi leaves, and then it's like, oh, okay, the Sixers are still kind of the favorites, but then, all of a sudden that bubble playoff was just terrible. And then again this year, Joel Embiid's on a crazy surge, and then, they're seen as favorites again, but like for 5 straight years, they haven't made the Eastern Conference Finals. And
honestly, the Sixers have been failing so much because of their management, because they've had a lot of solid players on their roster, and they've had a lot of high draft picks at their disposal. They've wasted almost every draft pick they've had, and they've had a lot of role players who actually end up developing into potential like fringe all-stars that they also just traded away early on, or they gave up on right off the bat. And it's so strange because even a few seasons ago, I mean, they had role players on their team that, in my opinion, I think are better than their current bench, but they traded them away for picks or cash or other role players that just weren't as good.
Like Mikal Bridges
Oh yeah, we're
and
gonna have
Darius
another.
Saric.
We're gonna have another video on this talking about how the Sixers just failed the process. All the terrible moves they've made in this past
It
decade.
isn't even processing. It's just like it's just like some system error, man. It's just
Oh,
it's crazy.
what about the little smoke of Damian Lillard liking that tweet of him and Ben Simmons in a Blazers uniform? Did you see that?
I was gonna say
I saw that. Yeah.
I was gonna say not about that, but I was gonna say that would be a trade. They could get CJ McCollum on the Sixers for Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
And that
but
would be
also,
good
like,
for the Sixers.
But also, like, how much better would that make them, right? Like, they do get another
The
scorer.
Sixers or the Blazers?
The Sixers.
That probably quite a bit.
I wouldn't say
pick
it's
and roll.
substantial enough though, because CJ is kind of inconsistent in the playoffs sometimes. He'll have a really good series, well, he'll win you like the almost half the games in the series, but then he'll have a really bad series where he just won't play defense, won't score efficiently, and just looks bad. Like
That being said, though, he did have a really great stretch before that injury that he had. He was averaging like mid-20s, right, per game. And I mean, like, he can definitely like have some sort of action with Embiid. You know, that those two can definitely find some way to sort of complement off each other. At least, you know, much better than what the Sixers are right now. I mean, with Portland, I mean, it's a tough situation, man. Like, the longer Dame sort of, you know, waits on this kind of thing to, like, you know, either let them know, you know, he wants out or he's gonna stay. I feel like the lower the chances are, like, that stuff will kind of happen. I mean, Ben Simmons too, Portland would definitely help them defensively. I mean, that's one of the things that they struggled at a lot. And they've definitely, like, they haven't been making like big moves that's like, oh, is Dame really gonna stay? But I mean, on the bright side, they are improving a bit defensively. So I mean, that is something that you could at least say on that end, I guess.
honestly, I don't think Dame and Ben Simmons will get along in the locker room. If Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler can't get along with Ben Simmons, I don't think Damian Lillard is going to get along with Ben Simmons, because Damian Lillard is one of the most, like, I don't want to say like no nonsense, but like he's one of the most real people in the NBA. Like, he'll look you in your eyes, he'll listen to everything you say, and he will ask you a question, and he expects a truthful response because he'll give you the same. Like, that's the kind of dude Dame is. If Simmons wavers like mentally, Dame is going to be on him about it.
He's one of those, he's like one of those guys where, like, you know, I won't judge if he asks me to do something, because you'll always know that he'll be able to, you know, make up for everything on his end. He's always going to perform to the best of his ability. So he's going to expect everybody to do the same as well. That's actually a pretty good point, Bert. I don't know if those two would really work out well. It's just tough, man. It's just like, the longer this thing goes, you know, like I said, it's just the more I sort of lose hope of, you know, like the Sixers, you know, actually being able to get somewhere other than, you know, just being stuck in this mediocrity of just Eastern Conference semifinals. Like,
you know what they should do? They should trade Ben Simmons for Steph Curry. They can both be on the same team.
Yeah.
And they can trade
Steph
as much as they just have, like, we'll just have the Sixers trade every single player on the bench plus Ben Simmons in order for Seth Curry and Steph Curry to play on their same team. And then Dell Curry can come out of retirement, and they can have 3 Currys on the same team running it back in Philly.
And then Riley Curry can get in the NBA draft, and then there you go.
Okay.
Okay. Before we wrap this up, do you guys have any final thoughts, or should we predict where Ben Simmons goes? I already gave my prediction. I think it's going to be.
Because, like, you know, they said that he wanted to go to those 3 like Cali teams.
It's not going to happen.
It's not happening for me.
He probably said one of the LA teams, the Kings or the Warriors. That's probably what he said. But the Warriors aren't interested. The Kings are losing interest, and they've pulled out. And
Lakers and
neither
Clippers
the
don't
LA
care.
teams.
Maybe he can be a Clipper.
I don't think they can make it happen. He's making too much money. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's a ridiculous contract. $200 million. are you gonna do about that?
Well, Dennis Schroeder.
I think realistically, I think the best place for him is the Timberwolves. It's just that's really about it.
Luke, where do you think he's going? Where do you think Ben Simmons is gonna end up? Don't say Guangzhou. Don't say the Guangzhou Tigers.
No. The only reasonable option is the Wolves. I don't see any other team wanting him enough to give up options. I mean, Sixers wise, I mean, they would probably prefer to trade with like the Blazers or there's literally the only team I could think actually trading for him would be the Timberwolves. And that's because they're in such a desperate situation that they're willing to try it.
Yeah, and
It's
they
Minnesota,
need
man.
defense so bad. They have in their entire starting lineup, they have like one meh defender, right? Like in their entire starting lineup.
Who's that?
And that was Ricky Rubio.
Cat?
No, Ricky Rubio. But actually, Cat's been getting better on defense. But that's
what about Edwards?
Anthony Edwards.
He's all right.
He's a rookie. I can't judge his defense like that.
Yeah, he's still got some room.
All right, so all of us are saying Wolves. I'm gonna change mine because I don't want to be like y'all. So I'm gonna say he's gonna end up on. Somehow the Kings are gonna do something, bro. I don't know.
The Kings don't need him. I don't even know why the Kings wanted it.
Don't worry, he gets to go to Cali.
But okay, here's my thing: if they're not gonna give Fox, are they gonna watch Fox and Ben Simmons play together? That's gonna be disgusting. I mean, Fox's 3-point shooting has been getting better. He needs the ball in his hands, and he's a good creator. He's a good playmaker. Like Fox brings what Ben Simmons brings. He's not as good on defense, but he still brings a lot of the stuff he brings. He's just smaller and faster. Like
if you told me 2 years ago that De'Aaron Fox and Ben Simmons are gonna be both playing for the Kings together, I would call you. I would call the police for possession of meth because y'all tripping. That's an awful matchup.
All right. Well, the Kings are gonna king. We know that. Free De'Aaron Fox, get him out of there, and please anywhere but Boston or Philly. But yeah, free De'Aaron Fox. That's been it for now. From Speed 2 Sports, I've been Bert.
I'm Sparsh.
I'm Luke.
We'll catch you guys next time on another video. See you later.
Take it easy.
Adios.